Well, good morning, everyone. Jerry here, and it is Saturday morning, January 24th. And man, got big football again this weekend and so forth. And then, of course, we got this big storm running across the country here. So I have no idea how many people may be watching today or whatever. And remember now, whoop, hang on here. Let me turn off the volume here. Keep in mind that, come on, hang on a second. There we go. Okay, so if you have a question to ask, you can use the chat box here on the YouTube. And of course, it's either to the right or it's just underneath the picture and so forth. And you can ask me a question by chat. Usually, again, I give the first 10 minutes to see if there's any questions. And if nobody calls in over that first 10 minutes, then I go straight to the presentation. But if we have questions, we'll go as long as we need to answer all the questions. And I'm looking at another screen over here. So, man, I got a little heartburn, so excuse me here. So I'm looking to see if anyone's asking questions. And again, I'll do my best to answer it. Remember, questions should be on or focused on cruising in French Polynesia or the Cook Islands, of course. Places to stay for pre or post cruise, and of course general information about the islands. So if you got a question that fits into that category, by all means use the chat box right here. And by the way, you can see here, there, I'm actually watching the chat box right here, right there on my iPad. So I'm watching to see if there's any questions coming in and so forth. So by all means, ask questions. Anyhow, let's give it a couple of minutes here. I started a couple of minutes early just to make sure everything was running right. And yes, everything is running right. So but we'll wait, like I say, we'll wait some time here to see if anyone has any questions. By the way, that's nasty looking weather coming across the country there. We're not getting any of that here in California, fortunately. But I know many friends and family that are in the pathway of that particular storm coming in. My son and his wife left yesterday morning here from California and heading back to North Carolina. And of course, they're going to get quite a bit of ice coming here on Sunday. But fortunately, they hit the pocket in there where they're able to get back to North Carolina without any trouble. And of course, the heavy weather starts tomorrow for the icing and everything else. So they managed to get in there because, like right now, they've already preset 9,000 flights to be, canceled right now because of the storm coming in. So I was fortunate that they were able to get home just in the nick of time before the weather got bad. I see no questions yet. So please ask questions. The whole idea of the Saturday mornings here. Yes, I love to do a little presentation and give you guys some thoughts and some ideas. But the main reason, of course, is to answer your questions. So if you got a question, by all means, let's talk about it and let's get you an answer here. Matter of fact, let me move my screen here so I can see that chat box a little bit better. There we go. That'll work good. Okay. So now it's right in front of me. I won't miss any of the chat calls or any requests or anything like that. So I put down there, you can see, to ask a question, place them here in the chat box so you know where you're supposed to ask those questions here. Let me move this just so I can see. Whoop, hang on. Whoop, now I hit my camera. Oh boy, see, I try to do something different, and now you get to see me scramble. Let's see here. That's one thing about, live stuff like this. And now I got to move my, let's move this over here. Bear with me. And there we go. Whoop, too far. Getting my green screen there. And that'll work. There we go. Okay. Sorry for the entertainment there. There are people watching, though. I'm looking at there right now. So, hey, again, back to getting us back on track here. You have a question, by all means, please do ask, and I'll do my best to answer it. You know the topics. Topics can be about cruising in French Polynesia, places to stay for pre or post cruise, and of course, general information about the islands. So keep it on that info there, and I'll do my best to answer your questions here. Nothing yet. I'm looking here to see if there's anything coming in here. Hey, look at that beautiful picture while we're just waiting here and so forth. That is taken on the way to the Cook Islands. And I'm up on deck 8, of course, on the Paul Gauguin right there. And look at that. Oh, beautiful, beautiful sunset. That is a sunset, though, up here on deck 8 on the PG. We'll show you some more stuff here in a little bit, but let's give it a few more minutes just to see if there is any questions coming in here that I can help answer and so forth. And let's see, I'm looking at the time. We're good. Okay. And let me move this over just a bit so I can see my clock. There we go. All right. No questions yet. You're going to get tired of me saying that. So, hey, ask a question, then I don't have to ask it again. I know a lot of you have questions. And, you know, the thing is, when you ask a question, then other people go, oh, yeah, I had that same question. Or they'll go, I never thought about that. Oh, yeah, I want to hear the answer to this. So when you ask a question, everyone benefits from the answer. So please do ask questions. I don't see anything coming in yet. No questions, but I see people watching. Okay. Nothing yet. Look at that. Just double checking here. No, nothing yet. So, let's, what else can we talk about? Oh, big football day tomorrow. And, let's see, one of the games, let's see, the AFC, that is not probably in good weather, but the one on with the Rams and the Seahawks, that's up there in Seattle, so that shouldn't be too bad. Their weather seems to be pretty good right now. So hopefully we're going to see 2 games tomorrow, but maybe only, or one today. I don't follow the football that much, other than when it gets down to the nit and grit right here, I do follow it a little bit. But no questions yet. You know, let me give you a little spiff for you that may be new watching and so forth. Zell and I have made 35 trips. Actually, I'll say that. We've made 35 trips together to French Polynesia. Zell had made some previous trips to French Polynesia even before we met. So I knew that was her happy place. And so when I asked her to marry me, I said, marry me and I'll take you to French Polynesia every year. Now, she didn't think that that was going to happen. But the reality is, it did happen. So we've made 35 trips to French Polynesia together. And she had, about 4 under her belt before we went. So actually, Zell's gone to French Polynesia 39 times. But anyhow, 22 of those trips have been on a small cruise ship. We've done 6 different ships. We love them all. It looks like we have, we do have a question coming out. Here's the question. Are there any PG excursions that you recommend? We are cruising the Society Islands in April and May. Well, let me give you in general terms here. The ship excursions, they have decent excursions and so forth. Of course, with my groups, I do private excursions because I know the vendors and so forth. And of course, I negotiate a much better price. But to answer your question, on going through there on Wahine is an island that I would say you can go either way. You can do the lagoon or some excursions that go out on the lagoon. There are a couple of places on Wahine that actually have some decent snorkeling, or you can go ahead and stay on the islands. One thing that people that don't want to go on the lagoon quite yet, because remember, there's better snorkeling coming in the other islands. So a lot of people will actually stay on the islands. And one of the things they enjoy doing is e-biking. And you take off right there from the tender location and you have a wonderful time. So e-biking is big. Wahine is a very lush island. And so there's a lot to see, a lot of cultural stuff from their history and so forth. It's a wonderful island if that's what you want to do. So that's what I would recommend. Either go out on the lagoon or do an e-bike. Okay. Now, when you go to the next island, let's say let's pick one out. Let's go to Bora Bora. Bora Bora is all about the lagoon. Yes, some people want to go up and see the cannons, and I've done that, and that's fun too. But really, you want to make sure you spend one of those days out on the lagoon. The ship's excursions are good. I've done it with that particular vendor. There's two different ones they do, a shorter one and a longer one, which includes lunch. They're both fantastic. They're both done by the same company. So keep in mind on Bora Bora, doesn't matter which company you pick, they all go to the same places for snorkeling. Usually there's three main places all the vendors pick on, and they're all going to go to the same places. So remember that. It doesn't matter which crew you're on, they all go to the same places. But I would make sure you spend one of the days doing one of the lagoon excursions on Bora Bora. Maybe the second day, do a half day 4x4, and the other couple hours go out to the Bora Bora Motu, which is fabulous. On Moorea, it's all about the island. Yes, they have a nice lagoon, and I've enjoyed the lagoon there. But really, it's the jagged peaks and everything else. Moorea is all about the island. Okay, so I would pick something that goes up to the Belvedere. I rent a car. Often I rent a car and just make my own way around the island and so forth. E-biking up around and so forth. A 4x4 tour on Moorea is fabulous, simply because they're going to go up to a lot of the places high up, and the vistas and the view is going to be fabulous. Okay, on Taha, Taha, of course, is enjoying Motu Mahana. Now, if you're going to take an excursion on Taha, I would recommend doing the drift snorkel. You can do that right from the ship. They take off right from the marina and go do the drift snorkel if you feel confident in the water. You got to feel comfortable being able to swim around and move yourself around in a little bit of current. But if you feel confident in that, some of the best snorkeling in all of French Polynesia will be at the drift snorkel on Taha. So hopefully I answered some questions there. Let's see, we got another one here. PG excursion or private excursion on Wahine for drift snorkel. I don't think the PG actually does a drift snorkel on Wahine. That's only done by private companies. I'm not sure. The excursion I've done on PG in the lagoon did do a couple of snorkeling spots, but I don't think they actually did the drift snorkel, okay? There's so many excursions, so I'm trying to give you a generalization on what to enjoy on each island. So anyhow, hopefully that answered your question a little bit, and if you got some more, keep them coming. Remember, the whole idea is to answer your questions on Saturday morning. Okay, that's a good one to start out with. Just so you know, I'm looking at the person that answered the question. Don't want to give a name here or anything like that. But just know the Society Islands is a great starter one. But I usually recommend, especially after that, is to do the 10 days or the 11 days. They're going out to the Tuamotus and the Society, or the Society are going out to the Cook Islands. You know, you're going a long distance to get to French Polynesia, and to take advantage of that and do so. A lot of people will do a pre-stay and then do the 7-day, or a pre-stay and a 10 or 11-day cruise. But I maximize my time in French Polynesia, and one way to do that is to make sure you're doing a little longer cruise, though you're starting out with a good one. You know, the other thing, keep in mind before you come back, because you will want to come back, is you wait for the island that calls your name. As you're going through those islands, one of the islands is going to definitely catch your attention. And that may be one that you maybe want to come back for a pre-stay for 3 days or whatever, and then go back to Tahiti, hop back on the ship, and do a 10 or 11-day cruise. So anyhow, any other questions this morning? Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. No, I did not. So let's give it a couple of more minutes just to see if there's any more questions here. Or let's give it another minute. And if none, then I will start doing the presentation this morning. Just so you know, the presentation this morning will be on the Cook Islands. It'll be on the islands of Rarotonga and Aitutaki. I'm picking on that a little bit because, I have a group cruise coming up in November, and that is the 11-night Society of Cook Islands run. So, again, I know a lot of my people going on my group cruises and so forth, they're actually watching and they'll go, oh, yeah, look at that. I want to see that when we go to Aitutaki or Rarotonga or whatever. So I'm picking on that a little bit tonight on the presentation that we're going to talk about the Cook Islands. I don't see any other questions coming up. Thank you again for the person that asked the questions, and let's give it a couple of more seconds here just to see if anything else comes in. I can see quite a few people are watching this morning. Wonderful, I love that, and of course I'm sure a lot more people come back later and watch the presentation, seeing it is recorded and left up here on my YouTube. Which leads me to remember here on the YouTube, remember, if you go underneath the screen, everything is organized there. There's stuff about the islands. There's stuff about interviews. There's stuff about quick little videos that'll make you smile. There's obviously the section here for the Saturday night meetings and so forth like that. General information about airports, about which airline to take, the resorts, everything else. Everything is organized down there so you can grab a lot of information about your trip. Let's see, we got another one. Thank you. You're welcome. No problem. Hopefully, hoping we get a couple more questions. But, after the Super Bowl, we will start getting busy on Saturday mornings again. Part of this is just for me being, just continue on and doing this and so forth. And people will catch on and people will start joining in and so forth like that. So it looks like we don't have any more questions. So for right now, if you do have more questions, even during the presentation, please feel free to ask. I'm going to move my chat box a little. I can still see it, but I want to see my other screens here. You have to remember, I'm the producer, I'm the director, I'm the host, and I'm the technical person, all wrapped up in one. So I got a lot of different job descriptions I do here on Saturday morning. So let's talk about that picture again. Taken on the way to the Cook Islands on deck 8 on the PG, catching a sunset. Just beautiful. All right, let's move forward here. This is the, and some of these pictures you may have seen before, but again, this is the file I have for, we're talking about Rarotonga first here. This is the bay here, or not the bay, but the marina and so forth, the dock and everything else by Avarua, which is over here. And this is the main village down here. But all the tenders will come in here and tender right here. So this is the main area of Rarotonga. Just checking to see if we have questions. No. All right. This is, again, Rarotonga. Here's the tender. I'm up on deck 8, obviously, or from my balcony. And the tender's coming back empty, getting ready to take another load back to the island of Rarotonga. This is right after the tender location. This is the main street going into Avarua here. And we are greeted by Mr. Rooster here, a colorful rooster. But, they run around and everything else. But this is where you're going to walk down the street if you're going to stay within the town of Avarua, which is a nice town. Great shopping. Again, remember, the connection of the Cook Islands is with New Zealand. So everyone speaks proper English. Let's see here. We go. This is the downtown part of Avarua again. And there's banks and places for to buy pearls. And yes, there are good buys on black pearls in the Cook Islands here. This is on a Sunday morning, so the traffic's not too heavy right now. In the center of town, they have this little strip park that goes down the boulevard right here, and there's all sorts of beautiful stuff to look at. In this case, a beautiful flowered banana. Look at that. And if you look right here, that's the road right here going through the main town right here. And let's move forward here again. There's a banana, a baby banana. Yeah. Nothing better than a banana right off the tree that's ripe. And here we have some ginger. Again, this is in that park area right down in the downtown area of Avarua and so forth. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, this is over at Murray Beach, and one of the big vendors over there is a guy by the name of Captain Tama. And this is the whole strip by Murray Beach, and there's some motus out there. You can walk out to these motus pretty much, so forth. But a lot of people end up going out on the lagoon. There is a marine reserve here, and they will park you right over there. If you want to go snorkeling, you can. And so you can jump in the water, and it's fabulous snorkeling there. Again, there is a marine reserve from Rarotonga. Another picture of Murray Beach here. And again, most of the people that are on the ships, they end up going down to Murray Beach here. Along here, this is a place right here, a restaurant, bar. They're all along here for you to grab lunch or whatever like that. A lot of people just walk out to the motus because this is very shallow. The snorkeling in this area is not the best, but there are some good snorkeling spots down by the Marine Reserve, and I'm going to show you how to get there, even if you don't do it with Captain Tama here. This is the backside of Murray Beach here, another motu here. You can see the people. They can just walk across here. Again, more places to stay, resorts here and everything else, and places to eat and get a snack. But this is the place on Rarotonga where 90% of the tourists go. That motu out there that you just saw a little bit. You can see people on it right here. And again, this guy's walking right here. You just walk across there to that motu and so forth and get to walk around. Lovely Murray Beach. Nothing wrong with Murray Beach. No other questions? And this is at the Pacific Resort on Rarotonga. And they got a lot of myna birds inside their lagoon, or inner lagoon here, their gardens and so forth. And they're kicking the pants to watch. Very comical. There he is again, looking at me. Again, this is at the Pacific Resort on Rarotonga, which is, again, fronts Murray Beach. Look at the flowers, just beautiful. Again, this is in their garden area and so forth. Just fabulous. Look at the beautiful colors there. Just so vibrant, lovely. Just see if we had any more questions. No more questions. And again, this is taken at the Pacific Resort, looking up from their garden. Actually, I'm looking in this is a reflection, actually. This is part of their water right here in their inner lagoon. Beautiful. And this is the far end of Murray Beach. And so you can get to the far stretches of it, and you notice nobody's here. There's some footprints here in the sand, but there's no one here. I can see a few people playing in the water down here. But there are places to find that nobody's there that you can enjoy. I'm going to show you one of them. Let's see. This is, again, around that point here. Let me go back one picture. This point right here, on the end, back on the end, going around that point, you get this. This is the point right here. And this is in front of another little boutique resort. And they got some places. I go in there and I get, a foo-foo drink, or I get some finger food or something. So then I feel at ease using their stuff here. They got some chairs and, again, some hammocks and so forth right there, so you can enjoy it. And here's another picture here. There you go. Don't you wish you were on that hammock right now? Look at that. Whew. Wow. Just kick back, enjoy. You can actually see when you get around the point here, there's some snorkeling areas right here. Now, I said that I would tell you about another place. When you go around the road and you keep going a couple of miles past Murray Beach, if you've got to rent a car, and by the way, I've already made my reservation for a rent-a-car on Rarotonga. I do it often because I know where I'm going with it, and I want to enjoy going where I want to go. And one of the places, there's a place called the Fruits of Rarotonga, and it'll be on the mountainside of the road. And you can get a sandwich there, salads and drinks and everything else. And right across the street from there, there's this little area to enjoy your lunch right here. So you buy it over there at the Fruits of Rarotonga, and you come over here and enjoy Just kick back. There's nice shade and everything else. And this is right up against the lagoon again. There's the lagoon taken from that area where you can enjoy your lunch. And if you look really closely, and let me make this a little larger here. There we go. So, boom. Out here, you'll notice a couple of little boats. That's Captain Tama right there. That's where he takes his people because this is the Marine Reserve. So you can go on your own, if you got to rent a car, and go over to the Fruits of Rarotonga, grab a little snack or something, and then come over here, hop in the water. You can see people snorkeling out here right now. Well, again, they're not with Captain Tama. They're with a rent-a-car, and they're right there at the Fruits of Rarotonga, because right across the street from the Fruits of Rarotonga is the Marine Reserve. Look at that. You'll notice again on the Cook Islands, one of the things, you look at the home, because this is someone's home right here. They have all these, the grave sites and everything else. And this is from this family. So they keep their family close after they departed from this world, and they keep them close. So this is very, very normal in the Cook Islands that you'll see little areas where people have been buried, and that's family members, relatives. This is me and Zell, and we're at Wigmore's Waterfall in Rarotonga, and you can go right up there, and from where you park your car or whatever, you got about 100-yard walk, and you can enjoy the waterfall here. Again, it's called Wigmore's Falls. Another place we like to stop is the Black Rock. And right around this point is actually the airport on Rarotonga, with a nice pool here to kick back and relax, plop in the water. You can see people here, over here on the beach. You can see people leaving their scooters right here, and then they walk down there. Here's another person walking down there, and enjoy the nice pool area right here around Black Rock. And again, this is on the island of Rarotonga. There's the beautiful Paul Gauguin off of the area of Avarua in Rarotonga, and she's just sitting there. And again, another thing a lot of people don't know, the PG is free floating out there. There is no anchor, there is no place to moor to. It is free floating, and they're using their GPS to keep everyone, to keep the ship where it needs to be and give some protection from the winds and everything else for the tenders. But it's free floating there. And this will also be true on the island of Aitutaki. The PG is free floating. This is heading back towards Bora Bora after we leave Rarotonga, and just catching a beautiful sunset here. Just beautiful. This is up again on deck 8 on the PG. And look at the colors of the sky. The sunsets and sunrises in the South Pacific are mesmerizing. I've never seen this many colors in other parts of the world. Fabulous. Consistently, almost every night, you'll have these incredible colors come in the sky. Look at that. Just beautiful. And that's the end of this particular one. Let me switch over to a different file here. And we'll close that down. And we're going to go to Aitutaki. You can see how many, let me just pull that back. You notice I have tons of presentations here on different islands and everything else. I never run out of material. And if you come back and back again, you'll get to enjoy those particular areas and different slideshows I have and so forth. Again, everything you're looking at are pictures I've taken over the years. And again, I keep on adding to it every year. Like this last year, we were in French Polynesia 3 times. And so I was taking hundreds and hundreds of more pictures. So anyhow, let's take a look here at Aitutaki here. And we are approaching Aitutaki here. I'm up on deck 8 in the early morning. The crew are getting the breakfast area here up on deck 8 ready to go and so forth. But out here, it's hard to see it, but the island of Aitutaki is out there and so forth. Again, catching that early morning sun and so forth. Just beautiful. There, we're getting a little bit closer to Aitutaki again. And I'm up on, no, this looks like my, no, it's deck 8. It's deck 8. But here, this is the island of Aitutaki out here as we're approaching it. This is some of the snorkeling areas on Aitutaki. And Aitutaki, well, let me say this, the lagoon of Aitutaki, to me, rivals the lagoon of Bora Bora. No, you don't have that beautiful mountain backdrop of Mount Otumanu that Bora Bora has, but the actual lagoon itself and the different colors and shades and everything else is just as spectacular on Aitutaki as it is on Bora Bora. I often call Aitutaki the poor man's Bora Bora, but I love it. And this is some of my group right here. Some other vendors out here taking people and so forth. Just beautiful. Here we are getting a little closer. Lots of beautiful snorkeling in here and so forth with nice coral, nice big fish and so forth. And this is where most of the vendors go to and so forth. And then you can be walking over here. Just beautiful. Gorgeous. And this is in the lagoon, and this is 1 Foot Island. Not 1 Foot Island, I'm sorry, it's Honeymoon Island. And you've heard people talk about that know Aitutaki well, they'll talk about Honeymoon Island. Well, this is Honeymoon Island, and the vendors, my vendor and so forth, will drop us off here, and we will walk across Honeymoon Island. You can see more people way in the background walking over here, and they're walking over, in my case, my group is going over to Motu Mahina, which my vendor owns, and we're the only people on there and so forth to enjoy it, and that's where we enjoy a nice barbecue lunch and so forth. Again, just a little closer picture there of 1 Foot Island. Look at that. Just stunning. Just stunning. Another picture of of Honeymoon Island. And again, you can see people walking across over here. And that could be some of my group too, heading over to Motu Mahina. Look at that. Wonderful. Just beautiful. And this is Motu Mahina. This is the Motu that my vendor owns. And again, we are the only ones that get to enjoy it. No other people. None of the ship excursions come out here to Motu Mahina. They go around the lagoon a little bit, and they'll usually end up down at 1 Foot Island if they're going to do lunch. And there'll be 4 or 5 vendors all down at 1 Foot Island. And that's where they have a free-for-all for lunch, because if you're the last boat getting in there, whichever tour you're on and so forth, there may not be much left to eat. But in my case, we go to my vendor's private Motu. We're the only ones there enjoying a beautiful barbecue lunch. This is where we usually end up docking the boats, or we walk across right here, right here, and in here to a shaded area, which you'll see here. This is some salads he has that when he's feeding us, every type of fruit and everything else that's on the island. Beautiful. Yum, yum, yum. This is my vendor right here. And he's got the salads here and so forth. Lots of shade and so forth to enjoy. Lots of beautiful wildlife and birds and so forth here on his Motu. This actually is laying on an egg. Again, some more of the coral in the lagoon of Aitutaki. Look at that. Just beautiful. All right, we are coming over by 1 Foot Island. Yes, this is taken with my drone, and that could be part of my group right there. But all the vendor boats, they'll end up coming around the point, coming over here, and get to 1 Foot Island right here. And 1 Foot Island is absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. You can sort of see right here, this is where the toes would be, this is where the heel is, and that's why it's called 1 Foot Island. This is the famous palm tree from 1 Foot Island right there. Beautiful places to swim in here. They got the big blue-lipped clams in here that can be as large as 3 feet across. But look at that. Don't you want to be there right now? I will be later this week. And for you that are smart, you'll come with me and enjoy this as well. Again, another picture there from the same location with the palm tree. This is one of my vendor's boats. He has a couple of these, and so we have one of the nicest boats out on the lagoon. Lots of shade. This is taking a 1 foot island. This is another one of the vendor boats here, and again, you're sort of all coming across like it's a cattle call. It's too big for me. Though I've done this excursion before a long time ago. In a couple of our first visits to Aitutaki, we actually were on that boat there. But the one good side here, they actually have a bathroom on this one here. But this is in the background right here. There's some shaded area here and a little structure and some other vendor boats right here. That's where they do their little picnic right here. But then again, 4 or 5 vendors are all enjoying that location, and the food can get a little sparse if you're one of the last boats in there to get lunch. Oop, we're going under for the big one here. This is me and my GoPro. Look at those big they're called trevellis. And you know, they're 20-pound fish. Big fish. Beautiful. And let's move on. Here's another one, the big one.
It's a fish.
That's the giant trevally. It's the nice thing about going with my vendor. He takes good care of us.
There he is. Watch it, Fred.
That's fun. Anyhow, my vendor, he obviously is going to feed the giant fish and everything else. Just beautiful. And here's a flyer for this particular Cook Islands run. You know, there's Zell and me, November 21st through December 2nd, 11 nights. That's the Cook Islands and the Society Islands. It gives the itinerary right there. How to contact me if this sounds interesting to you. And what's included, and even including the starting price there, which includes all the port taxes. Keep in mind here, like point 2 here, if you're a past guest on the Pogogan, your loyalty discount will be taken off of my group pricing, so you'll get a better price. Everything's included, of course, the amenities, the bar tab, all the tipping, it's all included. And then I also added some onboard credit for the people going with me. Look at that, just beautiful. Again, here's how to get a hold of me if this sounds interesting to you. Here's page 2. This is all of the excursions, private excursions I have planned, again, just for my group. Nobody can join my group other than the people that are actually signed up with me for this group, for this group cruise. And we'll do Mark's Motu picnic on Wahine, which is beautiful, and there is a drift snorkel on this. So you were to ask questions earlier there about a drift snorkel. We do the drift snorkel part on Wahine. And of course, then the ship goes to Aitutaki. And again, you saw some of the things there with my vendor and so forth. Great snorkeling, a wonderful barbecue Polynesian lunch with all the trimmings, including a basic bar. And then we go over to Bora Bora. And on Bora Bora, again, we go with my vendor there, which just spoils us rotten. We do 3 snorkeling spots, and then we end up over on their private motu for another barbecue lunch. And then on Moorea, I do a half day here, 4x4, because again, it is the thing to do on Moorea is to go up high in the mountains and so forth. And so we do it by 4x4, going up to the Belvedere, the Pineapple Field, the distillery, and we end up at Magic Mountain at the very end. So that's it. That's all today, people. And again, let me back up there again, just so you can. There's the contact information. If this sounds interesting to you, by all means, get a hold of me. I'll give you some more details and any of the pricing you want for the different categories and so forth. Right now, there's 25 of us going on this particular cruise. I don't like my groups to get any bigger than about 30 people because it loses its intimacy. So I will take a few more signups, maybe a couple more couples, and that's about it. Then I'll stop taking any more registrations on this particular group cruise. Though I have many more coming up in 2027, which again, you can look on my YouTube page and see the info on those particular group cruises right there under cruises I will likely be on in the future. You can go there and see the ones I have planned for 2027. So I don't see any more questions today. Thank you all for watching. And again, Saturday mornings, 8 o'clock Pacific time, right here on my YouTube channel. Next week again, there'll be a question and answer time. And of course, I'll have another little presentation. You all have a